Welcome back to another episode of Cash and Sass. All right, friends, today's conversation is going to be equal parts healing and truth telling. And you know how I'm all about that combo. Like I talk about it all the time. Because when it comes to money blocks, we're going to get real, right? They're usually not about budget, pricing, or how many offers you've got. They're about you, about how safe you feel receiving, about whether you actually believe you can hold the success you're building, and about how willing you are to stop proving, fixing, and earning your way to worth. And that's why I'm so excited for my guest today, Emma Lyons. And she's here with us because she's a transformational healer and a money mindset coach who helps soulful entrepreneurs clear the deep, sticky stuff that blocks cash, clients, and confidence. She ditched a high powered career in human rights law, did her own healing around burnout and money wounds, and now she guides heart-led women through the deep work it takes to stop self-sabotaging and actually feel safe holding more. So get ready. We're going to dive right on in. Welcome. Thank you for being here. We're going to dive in. You said money blocks are almost never about money. So I would like us to start there. If it's never about money, I'm going to ask, since most people will say, what are they really about?
That's such a good question, Lisa Marie. But yeah, in my experience, it's not, it's money is just the surface level. It's really it's about our ability to receive and hold things. You know, when you think about women, particularly, so many women struggle to even receive a compliment and they want to get rich or something, but they can't even receive something basic that doesn't cost anything because they secretly think that they don't deserve it or they shouldn't have it or something. So it's always really about receiving, about feeling deserving of it, of feeling able to, there's also a thing where we imprint levels of poverty or levels of wealth from when we're kids. And we kind of feel uncomfortable about getting to another level that's outside that comfort zone, even if it's what we consciously want. If it feels unsafe to kind of be more visible. What are people going to say? What's the family going to think? Who am I? I'm too big to get too big for my boots, you know? So it's all of these things that are really emotional. It's almost never about beliefs around money. It's about beliefs around who you are and how you feel about receiving.
I love that because I think it's true. I mean, majority of the time, money is one of the things, but the root cause of it is, you know, we don't believe we're worthy enough of receiving or having.
Mm.
And it can be because of whatever trauma or situation we grew up in. And it can be about money and other things. Sometimes it's deeper than just money, right?
Yeah.
And I love that. I would love to know, what did you do personally, or what did you personally have to unlearn when it came to money and your sense of worth?
Okay. Well, I mean, it's still a journey. It's an ongoing journey. And I just want to say
I'm
that.
so glad you said that.
Yeah. Because I mean, you people just starting out, they have to go through these adjustments that feel very uncomfortable. But let me tell you, people who are on six figures trying to get to seven and seven figures trying to get on to the next level, they have that too. So this isn't something that you experience once and you're finished. Every time you expand, it's like a chrysalis, it starts feeling uncomfortable as you get to the edge of it. So it's not one and done. And I'm still working on like stuff, every time you expand, every time you grow. But I mean, for me, it was a lot about identity, deservingness, and really about, I have a lot of control issues because you kind of, like I talked about, you kind of get comfortable in a certain space where you're earning a certain money, even if it's very freaking uncomfortable, part of you is like, this feels familiar. This feels nice. So even if it's in scarcity, you kind of get comfortable with that scarcity, you kind of learn how to manage it. So that's what I had to. I had to get comfortable receiving more and keeping more and feeling worthy of having that. So it's about being worthy of receiving and being able to have it without losing control. Because I mean, let me tell you a secret about money. Like I said, it's rarely about money. It's always about receiving. And so many women struggle also. Money is really connected to sexuality. And this is the women struggle to experience orgasm and pleasure. It's all the same thing. It's all the same receiving energy. And when you open up to receive more, it's across the board. It's not just money, it's everything. So the cool thing about working with people around these money blocks or self-sabotage, it changes so many different areas of their life as well. I've had people who've got into relationships after a long time being single and, different things happening in other areas of their life as well. So it's a really deep and important issue. Also, one more thing I want to say, there's shame around having money, having too much money, having too little money. So I feel like shame is another issue. Shame about being visible. Sometimes that shame can get in the way as well. So we about being showing up bigger, who am I to do that? So we hold ourselves back. So for me, it was all about breaking through those things. And like I said, I'm still working on those things just on another level.
Right, right. Well, I mean, every new level brings a new devil, right? I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's it's something we're going to constantly work on, and I still work on it every day. I'm so glad you said that, and I tell people all the time, it's not something you're going to do once and then never work on. It in order to truly, truly change your relationship with money, change the way you feel about receiving and the energetics and just everything. This is something that you're going to do day in and day out. You're going to have a tool belt and you're going to gradually add new tools to it. And that tool belt has been a lifesaver for me. I know. And I add new tools to it all the time. And I think that's the thing about it. One of the things that I wanted to ask is when you work with the clients and who are doing the work, like we're talking about, you got to do the work and it's going to be something that you keep doing. But they still feel like success isn't sticking. What's usually going on there under the surface?
Well, yeah, it's about identity so much of the time. It's not about money. It's about who you think you are and what you think you're worthy of having. And also, like I said, it's about control. We get comfortable in certain level of areas. This is who I am. This is how much money I get to have. And it's about changing your identity instead of being a six-figure person. What does a seven-figure person look like and feel like? So it's about feeling into that new level of energy or new level, what that next level of you looks like. And a lot of times we get stuck in the old version and we might be doing all the things, but energetically, emotionally, we're still kind of stuck in this old version where we're stuck financially. And then we have shame on that. That's a huge thing. I talk a lot about shame. We have shame about not being able to move forward, and that doesn't help. That makes us stick even more because we have an extra dose of shame. Why am I not moving forward? What's wrong with me? And that makes us kind of sink even deeper into the quicksand. And then we can find ourselves getting even more stuck. So we try to like beat ourselves with a stick to move forward, but oftentimes that's kind of is counterproductive, shaming ourselves, and it doesn't help. We've got to let go of the shame and lean into the next level of who we're becoming.
Yeah, absolutely. So that brings me to something else. How does the nervous system regulation play into being able to hold money once we actually receive it?
Yeah, and that's the thing that lots of people have. Lots of people can get the money, but then it slips through their fingers, or they just spend it, or it disappears.
Yeah, that's
Excuse
what I
me,
tell
are they?
people all the time is instead of constantly chasing and making the money, let's learn how to hold, not just receive it, but hold it, keep it, and also multiply it so where we can expand it. And so I think that it's important to understand how the nervous system regulation plays into being able to hold the money, right? Because a lot of people go, "Oh, I worked on it. I worked on it. I'm good to receive money." Okay, great, but is your nervous system
You get
okay
to
with
keep it.
holding on to it? Because I'm
Yeah.
going to be honest, y'all, I actually said something to my coach a year ago, and I said something about, "Oh, I don't want to be I don't need to be seven figures. I don't have a desire to be seven figures." And I had it subconsciously from there, I put a cap. But then when I changed my mind on the cap, I hadn't actually done something to when it started coming for me to actually hold on to it. And he made the comment and he said, well, aren't you wanting to make a difference? Don't you want to do this, this, and this? I went, yes. Well, how are you going to do that? Right. That made me realize, oh, there's this block of,
Yeah.
right. And so I worked on that. And then so what had to happen, what I didn't realize, I worked on that part. Okay, I'm game. But I didn't work at first on the nervous system regulation of once that money started coming in, me being able to hold it. So guess what happened? It disappeared. And we
Okay.
started going backwards, right? Or I say backwards, but the nervous system was saying, wait, great, you did this, but you know, in a way, it was trying to protect me, is the way I think, because
Yes.
we
Yeah.
hadn't
Yeah.
done
Yeah.
the work on it's okay to have it and hold it. We did the work and it's okay to do it and get it, but we didn't do the
Yeah.
work to have. How does that play into that?
Well, a lot of us, pretty much all of us, we take on trauma as kids. We get traumatized because it's lots of traumatic things happen, even in families that seem normal. And you give it meaning. So we kind of go into flight, fright, freeze, or fawn. And those patterns kind of keep repeating themselves and keep reinforcing themselves. And like you said, it is about safety. Your body actually stores this. It's not safe to get to this next level. It's not safe to have that amount of money because I'll be attacked. Maybe that's something that happened to you as you were a kid. Like maybe if you started to do well, your brothers or sisters or your family or your mother or your father, maybe they made fun of you or made you feel bad. So, or maybe in school, we want to be part of the try. So that's important for us. And we don't want to get too big for boots to know who am I getting bigger than the family is terrifying because as children, it's so, so critical. It's like survival that we fit in, that we are accepted by our parents. Because if we're not, we're going to die. So it's kind of branded into us that we want to stay in that place. So when it comes to getting to the next level, being more visible, it can bring up fear and maybe not mental, maybe it's not thoughts, but your body is like, that's when you procrastinate, when, you go into freeze. It's not necessarily your mind. It's your body is like, it is not safe for us to go there. If we go there, something terrible is going to happen. And if you think child's logic, it's not always logic that we can translate to adults. It's not always logic that we can understand. It's sometimes kind of babyish stuff. So, I can't do that. I can't hold that. Something terrible will happen if I go there. So when I work with people, I find out what the fear is. What is it that's making it unsafe? And sometimes we can make vows or promises to ourselves that can keep us in a freeze where we are the same level as our parents and we feel safe there. We get kind of frozen in certain levels of consciousness, and moving beyond it is like it puts your body in survival mode. So see what I mean? It's much deeper than it's never really about
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
It's so much
Yeah.
deeper. It's about the traumas that we internalize and the belief systems and all of that stuff. Money is about survival. So money is like sex. It's a really, really deep and important thing for us. And also it's kind of, there's a taboo around it, just like sexuality. It's kind of don't talk about it, don't have too much, don't have too little. We shame people for not having money, for having too much. So it's like, wow,
Well,
where do
and
I go with this thing? I mean,
right,
how
right.
do I find the Goldilocks spot? Because no matter what you do, you're going to be criticized.
No matter what you do, no matter what you do, you can't make everybody happy. But I love the
Yeah.
part that you said that it's not about money. I'm going to actually make sure my listeners understand what we're talking about. Because when we say it's not about money, what we're trying to explain to you is normally when we figure we have these blocks, we automatically say, oh, well, money's the enemy, or money is because of this, it's because of that, meaning it's because of money. It's not.
No.
Something deeper
Yes, yes.
is affecting how you're looking at it and dealing with it and managing it and handling it. And could be because there's scarcity mindset of you're never going to have it. It could be because someone told you if you didn't come from money, and you didn't marry into money, you would never have any. I've been told that. I was told that.
Mm.
But it's not money is the
Yes.
problem or issue is what we're trying
Yeah,
to get at,
yeah.
which I really think is important. What we're trying to make you understand, y'all, money is energy. Money is needed, yes, just like we're talking about, sex is, right? And it's such a taboo thing that
Oh,
society has
yeah.
taught us that it's basically we're supposed to pay our bills and then we're never supposed to talk about it. But
Don't talk about it. Don't say how much you earn. Don't have too much. Don't have too
right,
little.
don't
Then
right,
you're
right, right,
lazy.
right,
It's so
right.
difficult.
But
And
one of
it's
the
so
right,
confusing. So if you're confused,
absolutely.
you're normal. You're a human being
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
freaking confusing, isn't it, Lisa Marie?
Yes, it is. And that's the reason why I say that to me, being wealthy is being aligned with your values and your goals. I'm just going to say it out loud on this
Absolutely.
episode. Screw what society is telling you. Okay. There, I said it and I'll say it again. Screw what society is telling you. If society is saying you should be aligned this way and you're not, and it doesn't feel right, then you're not going to hold on to the money. You're not going to feel worthy because you feel like you're not doing it the way everybody's saying you should do it. That's not what this is about. To me, being wealthy is being aligned. You're living and it's aligned with your values, your lifestyle, and your desires. And I've said it thousands of times. And you can listen if you listen to podcasts, I have episodes on it. It's the 5 wealth codes, which is spiritual, energetic, mental, physical, and financial. And when we are aligned with them, and me being aligned may overlap similarly to what is aligned for Emma, but they're not going to be the same.
No,
They're not gonna be exactly the same. We may have some small things that overlap, but it's not gonna be the same because mine's gonna be different than her because we're 2 different human beings. And so I think it's just really important to say that when we're saying it's not about the money, we're wanting you to understand that it's deeper, and that's what's caused the block with you receiving the money and having the money and being able to have a different relationship with money. And I just think it's really important. In your opinion, what makes someone energetically ready to receive more money, more clients, or more joy?
it's being in alignment, isn't it, Lisa Marie? It's about being aligned, being happy, because when we're depressed, when we're like shame, it's the lowest vibration. And so many people are stuck in shame and they're stuck with the shame voice and they're trying to receive more. And the shame,
But
the low
they're
vibes.
not gonna see what's there to receive. And
Exactly.
I didn't believe that until someone told me how. If you're always down, how are you even able to see when
Ex-
when something is there to receive?
the
And you don't
opportunities
realize
don't
it,
appear
but
to you. Hmm.
you're walking away from it, and you don't even realize it. It's like self-sabotage, honestly, and we say it all the time.
Yeah.
But, somebody else told me, is like, "Lisa, stop saying that you self-sabotage yourself. Stop saying that you can beat yourself up better than anybody else, because basically you're telling the universe the exact same thing, and in some way, subconsciously, you go and do that. And what y it is it's retraining our brain and retraining our thoughts based off of how society or whoever we grew up around, whether it was said or unsaid, what we were around. And it's a proven scientific fact. It can go back 7 generations. It's a proven scientific fact. It can go back 7 generations. And I didn't realize I knew on some things, but I didn't realize when it came to the relationship with money and receiving and all, how that can go back. And it does.
Oh, yeah.
And it's deeper than just money, but it could have been like if you one of the people, in your family went through the Great Depression.
Yeah.
And if they lost everything, and then because of that, they shifted in being scared and hoarding. And then it just went up generations, generations, generations. And it started not just hoarding things, but hoarding money and
Mm.
that's where it stemmed from. And so it's one real, like she talked about, realizing it, right? Got to recognize it, and then being able to do something different with it.
Yeah, and I've worked with people who are Jewish and have, history in the Holocaust, and they had imprinted this fear, oh my God, if I receive too much, it'll be taken from me violently, So there is so true about those imprints. And only a few generations back, most of us, we had, great poverty, maybe famine, maybe depression, massive problems that we
Yeah, they weren't.
possibly,
They're not that far back. If you look
yeah,
at his 7 generations, they are not that far back.
yeah. It's so many things happen that are so distant from our reality now,
Mhm.
so where we carry that all intergenerational trauma. And let's be real, our parents, they didn't do trauma work. It wasn't a thing. So they just
You
passed it
weren't
down to
supposed
their
to. You weren't
kids.
even supposed to acknowledge that you even had such a thing. You were supposed
Yeah.
to bury it. You weren't supposed to talk about it. I mean,
Just be
that's
quiet.
part. Mhm.
Just
It's
be
part of
quiet and play your
why mental
role.
health is so bad. Right? Exactly. Exactly.
Don't
And
talk about it.
yeah, please don't. So it'd be like,
Perfect.
no, you're not supposed to do that. What do you wish more entrepreneurs knew about building a healthy relationship with wealth and success?
That it's about building yourself. To change your identity. Your business expands as you do. This is like a personal development boot camp, running your own business. You've got to grow. When you're in a job, it's different. You need a different level of consciousness. But when you're running your own business, particularly when you're selling something that you make or do yourself, it requires a whole another level of vulnerability, of visibility and expansion that, people in the 9 to 5 jobs, they can't even, it's totally different. So your success is a reflection of who you are, especially if you're selling who you think you are, your identity, who you identify, your self-concept, your belief in yourself. And rather it's a having your own business is an opportunity, golden opportunity for you to grow and become best, biggest, brightest, most
Yeah.
beautiful version of who you are, and to share your gifts with other people. Because the more you have to give. There's so many kind of spiritual types of people, and I know this from personal experience as well. Like, I shouldn't have too much money. I shouldn't be charging for this. Oh my God, I should be giving it away free. It's charging too much, all of those things. But the more you receive, the more you have to share with other people, the more you can give to charities, the more you can help people, the more you can, do pro bono work. But if you are living in poverty yourself and really struggling, you can't do all of those things. No matter how much you want to try, because you're stuck in scarcity. So the best thing you can do is expand, get out of scarcity, get into abundance, and then model that for other people, for other women, because so many people, they've never seen that maybe in their community, in communities that maybe were poor and kind of collectively have taken on that identity. You get to be the model of what else is possible. And
Yeah,
that's a
showing them what else
yeah,
is possible. Yeah,
exactly. That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
biggest gift that you can give anyone. And then they can choose to model that or they could choose to stay where they are. But you just giving them, that's a huge gift for people, showing them what's possible for them.
I love that. And I believe that's true, right? Because when we look at how we live our lives each day, and if we're living it, modeling how we want the world to change to be, then we're
Hmm.
showing what's possible. It's one of the reasons why I started this podcast is I wanted people to realize that money doesn't have to be a taboo subject. Just because society told us it should be, just because older generations and generations and generations of society kept telling them and it followed along, told us it should be, doesn't mean it has to be. We can actually make a decision and say, nope, not going to be. And so when I thought, okay, what can my part be to play into that, right? Talking about being an example. That's how Cash and Sass, one of the reasons and how Cash and Sass became born was because I wanted the money taboo to be kicked to the curb. I was tired of people going, "Oh, you shouldn't talk about that. You shouldn't. No, you're not supposed to talk about that." Look where not talking about it got us.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's just
Great. Right.
it's just like mental health. Look at where not talking about it has gotten us. Okay,
Mhm.
it's not gotten us in a good place. So maybe let's change it and let's talk about it and see how that would work. And what I have found is many people have said, I am so glad you do this because now I got a tip off of this, or I read a book because you mentioned it on your podcast. and it gave me some insight, and now I'm doing this instead of this, and it in some way, shape, or form, some small it's changed their trajectory, and they're looking at how they receive, how they hold money. They're looking at money differently, the relationship with money. They're going deeper, right?
Yeah.
That, I've had many episodes where we've talked about it deeper, and this is one of them. And they're looking at those going, "Oh, wait, is there something going on deeper? Okay, I've done this amount of work. Maybe there is something deeper. Now I can go deeper and I'll do the work." And then they're going to be able to see that trajectory be changed. And so I think it's just, I love the fact that you said, show what's possible, because when we do that, we let them know, one, they're not alone, and two, that there are other ways,
No.
that there is a different possibility. You've talked about your own, or you mentioned to me before that you've had your own seasons of financial struggle. So I
Oh.
would love to know, and for my listeners especially, what has resilience taught to you about wealth?
Well, that's an interesting question. I mean, don't give up. That's the thing. Just where you are now is not what's possible for you. And we kind of get stuck there. We think the past. That's why it keeps repeating itself, because we get stuck in the past and past versions of ourselves, and we think that's forever. But it can change. Okay, it takes a little bit of, because you've
It
got
doesn't
some
happen
momentum.
overnight, y'all.
Yeah, no, but things can change pretty quickly. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
need to take a long time either. It really
Mm-hmm.
depends. Things can change pretty quickly when you start shifting those beliefs and getting to the core of what's holding you back. And
Mm-hmm.
like some of what I've found is really so much of it is about kind of internalized shame that people have internalized about what they deserve, about what they can have, about what's safe for them to receive. So really working on that core shame, I've noticed that it frees up so much, opens up to receive. Because when we let go of when we drop that shame BS, you know, there's no shame in money. Shame is just a receiving. It's like a symbol of receiving. It's a symbol of appreciation, Lisa. It's when somebody gives you something, whether it be food or a service, you show your appreciation with money. And it used to be like beads and stones and things. And now we have this thing called money that humans created. And yeah, that lots of people have made the most important thing in the world. But let's be real, in our society, money is important. It's not the most important thing. Love and, people try to say, oh, money isn't that important. Love is more important. But, money is important too. I'm not saying it's more important than anything else, but it's important. In our society, if you don't have money, you are shooting yourself in the foot, because you're not going to be able to do lots of things, and you're not going to be able to share in the same way as someone who has that financial finance behind them. So the more you embrace that, the more you receive, the more you have to give. That's what I'd like to tell you, to share with people. Open yourself up, receive, drop that shame, and be the best version of you. Don't unashamedly, let go of that. Let go of that shame around money and just receive. Be who you really are. Dare
Yeah,
to be who
because
you really are.
everybody deserves to receive and have money. No one is more special than someone else. And even
Exactly.
if you feel like, well, I've never had it, that doesn't mean anything. I didn't come from money, and I know I deserve it and to receive it and hold it just like anyone else. So it's doing the work and believing in it, and
Mhm.
then showing, by doing the work. Keep doing the work when you've got it and you've received it, and you just keep doing the work, right? And
Say
I think
thank
that's
you
really
when you
important.
receive no, even a little bit of money.
Say thank you. Listen,
Thank you,
listen.
thank you, thank you.
We got some good news recently, and I shouted it from the rooftops. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll probably keep saying it, because you're energetically, you're letting your nervous system know it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay for people to get you things
You're
and for
letting
someone
your
to buy you
nervous
dinner,
system
you
know
know?
that just because you've never had that amount of money before, that it doesn't mean you're not gonna be safe, that actually you are safe and it's okay.
Yeah.
And subconsciously, when you're saying thank you and you believe it, and you've done the work, you truly believe it, it's important for your nervous system to know it's okay. because our nervous systems are built to protect us. That is what it's there
Yeah.
for. And it needs to know it's okay, right? Especially when it's something totally different than what society has always taught us and subconsciously our nervous system has taken in. I have one final question. I think it's really, really an important one. And I would love for you to share with listeners because I want them to just to have one thing. What's one belief, ritual, or practice that helps you stay connected to receiving any, even when things are really tough? And the reason why I'm asking this is because if there's something that they're able to do to walk
Yeah.
away with and remember, okay, this is something that has helped her, maybe it would help me. Because
Yeah.
life is life, y'all. Life is going to get tough sometimes.
It
There's no
is.
way
Yeah.
around. Doesn't matter if you're 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures. At some point in time, life is going to get tough. How we react to it, how we handle it is going to be what affect or how it affects us because there's nothing we can do to stop life from being difficult.
No. Yeah, life can be difficult sometimes, and it's all about how you respond to it. I have
Mhm.
two suggestions for that. So, first of all, we're talking about gratitude, and don't wait for the big things to happen. I know you had like a lovely something fantastic that happened. Don't wait for the big
Oh,
things.
no, no, no. Don't
You
wait for
know,
the big things. No, I say it all the
don't wait
time.
for
I
the big
mean,
things.
small things too.
Somebody buys you dinner, somebody buys you a drink, say thank you, thank you to them, thank you, universe, whatever it is that you believe in. Receive that. Don't try to argue with them. Just allow yourself to receive the little things. You see money on the street, thank or somebody gives every time you buy something, get into that gratitude because money is the energy of appreciation. That's the first thing. The second thing is visualize yourself. What does that next version of Lisa look like where she's earning the next level amount, And imagine yourself there. You don't necessarily need to imagine all the things, but really imagine what that might feel like, what it feels like to be able to buy that thing that you want to be on, to be going there. Imagine that excitement. Feel it in your body now. Don't wait for the thing to happen. And do that every day for, a week or 2 weeks. Do it for 2 weeks every day and see how your frequency changes. So that's my 2-week challenge for the listeners. Do that every day. Spend 5 minutes really tuning in to what it feels like to receive that thing and just the energy in your body, what it feels like emotionally. The more emotionally connected you get to it, not just seeing the things, but feeling it, that's gonna cause the shift. Just
Yeah.
recognize that it's safe, that it's possible, that you're allowed to receive that it feels good. You're allowed to feel good. So many people struggle with with receiving because they don't think they get to feel good, feel pleasure. They don't get to receive that they're not allowed to because of the imprinting from kids. So you got to re-imprint that with what it is that you want and with receiving, and then you'll be able to share even more with people. You'll be able to show up as the version 2.0 and help more people, give to more people, give more back to life, and just be who you really are more and more. That's what life is really about. It's about becoming more and more of who you really are.
I love that. I love that. So before we wrap up, Emma, I know you've got a super simple but powerful tool to help my listeners spot and shift sabotage patterns. Can you tell us about the Break the Loop download and where they can grab it?
Oh, well, I do have that. I have another one which kind of
Okay.
goes a little bit deeper as well. So talk about that one. It's about shame because I've realized recently that shame is really core underneath all of this. So I have a free offer for you there. It's about how to break up with this voice in your head that's shaming. I call it the inner narcissist. So it's 5 signs that it's time to break up with your inner narcissist. And it's at tinyurl.com/not today narc. That's what you can look at. So you can start there. And also, I mean, reach out, connect with me over on Instagram, place, because I share a lot about raising your frequency and releasing any shame, residual shame that you're carrying so that you can receive more and be the best version of you.
I love that. And you'll be able to find the link in the show notes. Just make sure you go and check that out. And, you know, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I truly appreciate it. And listen, if this conversation hits you in the gut a little, even in the best way,
Yeah.
then it might be time for your next move. If you've been doing the mindset work, the journaling, the strategy, but your money still feels blocked or messy, this is your invitation to stop guessing and get aligned. Book a free wealth alignment call with me and let's map out a clear, grounded plan that feels just as good as someone's putting it out on paper that it would look, right? Because if your body's in hustle mode and your bank account's in chaos, y'all, I don't care. No spreadsheet is going to save you. So check the link in the show notes. I'd love to support you. And until next time, remember, confidence and cash are the ultimate power duo. I say it over and over again, and I truly believe it. So go check in with your money. And as always, have a fantastic and wealthy day. Thanks. Bye.